Welcome to The Explainer. You know, if you're a focused learner trying to figure out exactly how the landscape of digital content creation is completely shifting beneath our feet right now, well, you are definitely in the right place. Today, we're unpacking a massive, monumental shift. We're looking at the story of how AI is just completely flipping the creator economy upside down. For years, the barrier to entry for making those incredible, high-performing pieces of content was just super technical, right? You needed expensive cameras, professional editing software, maybe even a whole team to help you write and produce the thing. But as we're going to see today, AI is entirely rewriting those rules. High-quality production, it's just no longer the magic ticket it used to be. Something else has taken its place. And honestly, if we don't adapt, we risk being left completely behind.
Okay, let's dive into this staggering story. Right now, as we speak, there's a guy in a hoodie sitting in a Brooklyn apartment who just used an AI called Claude Code to build a fully automated YouTube channel. No editor, no scriptwriter, absolutely zero coding background whatsoever. Literally none. He built the entire pipeline from scratch in a week and a half. And here's the reality check that should really make anyone making content pause for a second. He's not the only one. There's this quiet army of regular, non-technical creators right now doing in just a few hours what used to take a dedicated 12-person agency a full month to pull off. The barriers are just gone.
To really understand the scale of this, consider this number. Claude Code just crossed an estimated $2.5 billion in annualized revenue. I mean, $2.5 billion. This isn't some niche experimental tool that people are just playing around with. Massive corporate giants, we're talking Uber, Netflix, Spotify, Salesforce, they're running on it. In fact, get this, even Microsoft engineers, people who work for the company that literally sells its own AI coding tool, are reportedly using Claude Code instead. It's kind of like Coca-Cola employees secretly drinking Pepsi in the break room, right? This technology is incredibly powerful, and it's reshaping how work gets done at the absolute highest levels, all the way down to the individual creators sitting in their bedroom.
And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer financial disruption happening right now. Take a guy named David over at the software company Zapier. He was absolutely drowning in requests to upload and manage videos, dealing with endless Slack threads and just messy files everywhere. But instead of hiring a developer, he sat down with Claude Code, typed out in plain English what he wanted, and the AI built him a complete, secure YouTube upload tool. Just like that. A San Francisco development agency would have easily charged him a 5-figure fee for this custom software. David did it in his pajamas using a basic Claude Pro plan. The money you'd spend on, a couple of burritos for lunch is now buying you the exact same output that used to require an entire engineering team. It's wild.
Now, if you're sitting there thinking, man, I'm not technical, I can't do this, you really need to learn this new term, vibe coding. It's gotten so prevalent that it actually has its own Wikipedia page now. Vibe coding basically refers to regular people, completely non-programmers, who are building complex software simply by talking to an AI in plain English. You literally just, vibe with the AI. You tell it what you need, and it writes the code, tests it, fixes its own bugs, and then just hands you a working product. You don't need to know Python, you don't need to know Java, you literally just need to know what you want to build.
There's a massive realization hitting the industry right now. The technical excuse you might have been hiding behind for the last 3 years, it's entirely gone. Poof. Anthropic, the company behind Claude, they know their users aren't all software engineers, so they built a command literally called Power Up that teaches you the entire tool through simple animations. They even launched a tool called Co-work that was built specifically for non-developers, so marketers, founders, and content creators. The point here is that the playing field hasn't just been leveled, it's practically been paved over so anyone can walk on it.
Which brings us to this incredible concept of the one-person agency. We're seeing everyday hobbyists stepping up and absolutely crushing legacy channels that have been around for 5 years or more. And why? Because these hobbyists are using AI to automate their entire production pipeline. They're operating with the speed and efficiency of a massive media company, but it's just one person and their laptop. They aren't bogged down by the technical execution of content creation anymore, which completely frees them up to compete at a totally different scale.
Let's move to and see how this builds into an actual automated workflow. Here are the 4 specific steps creators are using to put their pre-production on complete autopilot. Step 1, they just chat with the AI to build custom tools for their specific needs, like motion graphics or caption generators. Step 2, they drop in a video transcript, and the AI instantly repurposes it into a newsletter, a Twitter thread, and a LinkedIn post, all matching their exact tone of voice. Step 3, The AI pulls their channel analytics via MCP, which really just means it can securely talk to other apps to figure out exactly what's working. And finally, step 4, they schedule the AI to run daily at 7 a.m. So while they're literally sleeping, the AI pulls stats, drafts titles, optimizes descriptions, and emails them the results before they even wake up.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the massive trap that honestly 90% of creators are falling into right now. Look, you can have the most beautifully automated pipeline in the world. You can have AI generating stunning thumbnails, perfectly syncing your captions, and fully automating your uploads. But what happens if the core concept of your video is just fundamentally uninteresting?
Well, the reality is pretty brutal. You'll get, 87 total views? That's 83 random clicks, 3 views from your incredibly supportive mom, and 1 view from your ex checking in on you. It's funny, but it's also a pretty stark reminder. Perfectly automated garbage is still garbage. The AI cannot save a fundamentally flawed concept, guys. It can only amplify what's already there. So if the idea is bad from the start, all the automation in the world is not going to make people click or watch.
This leads us directly to the concept of dead moats. In business, a moat is your competitive advantage, right? It's the thing that protects you from rivals. In content creation, the traditional moats used to be things like having a $10,000 cinema camera for stunning visuals, being able to afford a professional video editor, designing these highly clickable thumbnails, and having the budget for top-tier script writing. But because of AI tools like Claude Code and video generators like Runway Gen 4, all of these things are completely commoditized now. You can get a world-class thumbnail generated for less than the price of a cup of coffee. High-quality production is simply no longer a competitive edge because absolutely everyone has access to it. Let's compare 2 identical creators using the exact same AI tools to automate their channels. Creator A picks their video topics based on vibes. Whatever they thought of in the shower, or maybe what a friend said sounded cool. Basically, they're guessing. Creator B, on the other hand, operates on data and validation. They actually score their ideas for virality probability before they ever hit record. Now, even though both are producing, say, 16 highly polished videos a month using AI, Creator A gets a few thousand views, while Creator B hits these massive numbers that completely change the trajectory of their channel. The only difference between them isn't effort. It isn't production value. It's the data behind the idea.
The source material actually shares a perfect anecdote about this. A creator made a video with a fantastic thumbnail, beautiful cinematic editing, flawless production, but it was based on just an okay idea, and it completely flopped. Then, that exact same creator, using the exact same camera, the exact same editing skills, and the same amount of effort, made a second video. The only thing they changed was the core idea. And that second video skyrocketed to over 100,000 views in just 28 days. Same creator, same production, but an entirely different outcome purely because of the idea.
So the crucial point is this. Production quality is no longer the moat. Ideas are the entire game now. AI handles absolutely everything downstream. It handles the editing, the repurposing, the uploading, the graphics, the whole shebang. The single deciding factor for success, the one thing that determines whether you eat or starve as a creator today, is the topic, the angle, and the hook. If you don't have an incredible idea, you quite literally have nothing.
So how do you actually fix this? Well, you need a system. You absolutely must find tools that score and validate your hooks before you ever even turn on your camera. The source mentions a tool called Viroscope AI is a great example of this. Instead of just giving you generic AI slop that thousands of other creators are already using, tools like this reverse engineer virality. They analyze what's actually blowing up in your specific niche right now, break down those patterns, and hand you data-backed topics and angles that have a high probability of success. You really have to secure this kind of leverage if you want to compete.
Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. AI is going to commoditize everything else in content creation over the next 12 to 24 months. For sure. The creators who actually win are the ones who solve the idea problem first. So I leave you with this question. Are you going to keep guessing at your ideas based on gut feelings and vibes, or are you going to use data to stack the deck before you ever press record? Fix your idea problem now before the algorithm forgets you completely. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive, and as always, keep learning.